Hello there, Ella. I'm glad to see more essays from you, so let's get straight into your corrections and see what you have written for us today. The question of copyright legislation and its control over creative and intellectual content has grown in importance over the past 2 decades. The extremes of the debate both hold weight, hence the difficulty surrounding these issues. In this essay, we'll examine the question of freedom of user-generated content and conversely discuss the merits of maintaining tight controls. Lovely. I believe the current copyright stipulations stifle the celebration of amateur-produced content. This is largely because huge multinationals such as Sony Music can remove any online videos they believe to be a copy of their property. Okay. This may include any tributes or versions of music uploaded to YouTube by novel creators, even if it has been recreated for love, not money. Therefore, this extreme response results in severe limitations of new cultural achievements. Beautiful. Perfect, lovely, not anything I want to change. In answer to the second question, I hold the opinion that civilization does function better within a set framework of guidelines. A research study by the BMI demonstrated that when legislation is not enforced, for example, during the time period that Napster illegally began sharing music files in the 1990s, the music industry lost up to $80 billion. This decimated the lives of normal people reliant on this industry for employment. Therefore, when laws are totally ignored, the results can be corrosive. Beautiful. I don't want to change anything to this either. In conclusion, I feel that the current differences between the law and new technologies need to be more balanced. If the creative industries and artists choose to be more open to the novel creators, then I believe in future a more just system for sharing content could benefit both society and industry. This could be achieved by protecting existing content and allowing production of unique artist creations. Okay, this is lovely. I mean, it's of a really high level. If I had to critique one little thing, it would be of the new information you have added to your conclusion. I want to remind you what the purpose of a conclusion is. The purpose is to simply restate your main position, your thesis that is, and then just to leave the reader with some sort of thought-provoking idea or prediction for the future, okay? So I kind of felt like some of this, you were adding a little bit to it. Again, you know, I'm nitpicking because I know that you're looking for a high score. So, you know, I'm just thinking that an examiner might say something like, well, why is she adding new information here in her conclusion? So you want to try to avoid that. You're really aiming to simply restate your thesis and then just have a sentence or maybe maximum 2, just sort of giving perhaps a prediction for the future. I felt like perhaps you were doing a little more. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm nitpicking. But if there was one thing I had to say, it would be this. All right, let's move on to this. Your letter. Dear Sir, Madam, I am writing to the Examinations Committee in order to explain my absence from the recent second-year chemistry exam held on this date. Okay. Firstly, I would appreciate it if the committee would accept my most humble apology for my non-attendance. I have no doubt that the invigilator was puzzled when I did not appear. My name is Ella Haggerty, my student number is this, and my case number is this. In order to provide some explanation, perhaps it may help to describe the events of that day. As I prepared to get ready to leave for the exam, I tripped and fell in my hallway. Unfortunately, I could not get up, and when I called for help, it became apparent I had badly fractured my ankle. An ambulance was called, and in the furor of my transfer, I thought furor was with no E, so careful with your spelling, of my transfer to hospital, I totally forgot to contact the university. I do have my hospital discharge letter detailing my admission date, surgical procedure, careful with your typing, length of my inpatient stay, and the day I was allowed home. Given that I am now feeling much more comfortable, I am hopeful that I may be allowed to rearrange sitting the chemistry exam. I would be happy to liaise with my tutor, the committee, or the faculty to arrange a mutually agreeable date. Please do not hesitate to email me if you require any further evidence. My doctor has offered to speak to you personally if needed. Okay, yours faithfully, which is ideal, lovely. Now, the one thing, unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me. What I cannot remember, Ella, from this particular task is what it says in terms of the recommendations, the suggestions you want to make to the committee. Does it say make a suggestion, or does it say make suggestions? Now, I know this might seem, again, like nitpicking. It might seem like details, but this is a world of IELTS. So the difference is actually rather large. If it says make some suggestions, that means make more than one. If it says make a suggestion, then you're safe with just one suggestion. So I would reread the task. You have essentially given one suggestion, okay, that you would like to speak to your tutor and the committee. All right, and you haven't really made a suggestion, just, hey, let's meet. So perhaps you should have been a little more specific with your request, saying, I would like to resit the exam on such and such date. Otherwise, you could count my previous coursework in order to score my grade for, just based on what I had already done. So make suggestions rather than just like, let's arrange to meet. All right, so do be careful with that. So if it's a general task one, it's there's so many important little things that you need to be aware of in order to get that task response grade that you need. So it was lovely, though. I mean, all the grammar, all the vocabulary, the structure was quite nice. So really here for me, it's just an issue of the task response. Keep on writing, Ella. If you have any questions about this or any other comments that I've made in your correction, please do ask them in an email. Okay, and so again, keep on writing, and I will be looking forward to more of these from you.